What's going on, everybody? It's Mr. Uzi here, and I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. As we're going up towards New Year's, I thought I'd get one last video out to you guys, and this has to do with the monitor that I purchased during Black Friday. Before I had this one that I just bought, I had a monitor that was 5:4 aspect ratio, 1280 by 1024 resolution from 2005 or 2006, and it was about time that it needed to be upgraded. So during Black Friday, I went to Newegg and picked up a new monitor, and I've had it for I'd say about a month now, and I'm ready to give my full thoughts and opinions on this monitor. So without any further ado, this is my full review of the LG22MP55 IPS monitor. So to start off this review, well, it's kind of in the name. It is a 22-inch IPS panel with 60 Hz refresh rate and a 1080p resolution. As far as overall design goes, it has semi-thin black bezels around the edges that are glossy, but it does have a matte screen. So with an IPS panel being better for color reproduction and representation, the matte screen kind of gets rid of a little of that color accuracy, but the trade-off is that glare from direct sunlight through a window or through a lamp or desk light or anything will be greatly reduced as opposed to a glossy screen. And it has the benefit of not attracting as many fingerprints, although I don't know too many people who like to touch their screens with their fingers. Usually they tend to stay away from stuff like that. But moving around to more physical aspects, around the back we have a textured back with kind of mini triangles on there, which are also glossy. I would have loved to see them matte so that they don't attract as many fingerprints, because there's one thing, the screen may be matte, but the rest of the body is not for the most part. It's plastic, it's glossy, and it attracts fingerprints, dust, all of those things. And since it's black, you can definitely see that when it collects all these things over time. You're definitely going to see that it's going to be noticeable when you're using it on a daily basis, especially if you're adjusting the screen, which leads me to the next part, which is the stand. The stand gives you about, I wouldn't say it's a whole lot of tilt up and down. There's no left and right movement. The stand is a bit wobbly. I would have liked to see a sturdier stand, maybe even a metal one, but the monitor is capable of being mounted with a VESA capable mount. Along the backside also we have the input and output. We have an HDMI port, it has VGA headphone output, and then it has the AC adapter. I'm still not quite sure why VGA is still on most monitors these days. It's kind of been phased out as an input. I'm just kind of confused why they added that to this monitor and other monitors for that fact, but I do have an HDMI port on the back of my computer, so this doesn't really have any problems with me. Now let's move on to the front. As I said earlier, it is a 1080p panel, so you're going to get 1920 by 1080 resolution. The screen resolution is really nice compared to 1280 by 1024. As I said earlier, it's a huge step up. Games, movies, video editing, all are much better on this resolution. The 16:9 aspect ratio is way better than 5:4. Along the front of the monitor, towards the bottom right, we have the controls for the on-screen menus. I would have wished that the menu buttons were on the side of the monitor. Having them on the bottom, it's kind of an awkward place to reach underneath and change the menu options. And not to mention that there actually is text on the bottom right which tells you what each button does, but I didn't even notice that was there for, I don't know, maybe until like 3 or 4 days ago. And I mean, it might have helped with navigating the on-screen menus, but I feel that the placement would have been better on the side where it's easier to look at if you don't know what you're pressing, whereas on the bottom it's really hard to look underneath your monitor if it's sitting on a desk. And the menu is more or less ruined by this poor button placement. I didn't spend a whole lot of time in the menu. Calibration was very short. I picked the custom preset, or I picked the default preset, kind of just called it a day. I wasn't really wanting to spend too much time in the menu because it was so frustrating pressing the wrong buttons and choosing the wrong settings, and that's really all I have to say about the menu. Let's move on to, I guess, the software features. There's a few of them, but I don't really think they're that important or useful for that matter. One of them is LG's dual display, and they also have dual web, which are kind of the same thing. But dual display basically lets you show simultaneous displays of 2 windows on the screen at once. Now, why this may be not useful is that Windows 8 does this natively. You can drag screens to the left and right and have them open simultaneously. So maybe this feature would have been better on a Windows 7 or XP or Vista computer, or another computer for that matter if you're running Linux or whatever. But for Windows, it's not particularly useful. The dual web feature is pretty much the same thing. You've been able to drag tabs open and have them open simultaneously. It does involve installing but LG software to run, so it doesn't work right out of the box. So I'm kind of just going to steer clear of it. I can't say that it's completely useless because I haven't tried it, but from what I've seen and from what I've read, I don't think I'm going to be using it anytime soon. Yeah, that's really all I have to say about this monitor. Overall, it is extremely good. The matte screen, although a glossy screen would have been better for color accuracy and representation, it does have the benefits of being having the glare reduced significantly, and it doesn't attract as many fingerprints and dust. At least that's noticeable to my eye. The price was amazing for at about $130, I believe. Right now in Newegg it's about $150 for a 22-inch 1080p IPS panel with a matte screen and vase mount capabilities. I don't think you can go wrong here. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. This is the last video that I'm going to be putting out of 2014. I hope that you see it before the new year, because otherwise this next sentence will not make any sense. Have a happy new year, and I may see you guys next year. If you want to have any more information, if you have questions about this product or this monitor, or anything actually, you can send a comment down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter at Uzi with 4 O's, Z, then an I. If you have any questions about pricing and availability, I'll have links down in the description below. Thanks you guys for a wonderful 2014. The channel grew a lot this year, and I'm glad that you guys enjoyed the content, and I will see you guys in 2015. Have a happy new year, and I'll see you later in the next video.